Okay, so here we are at the Madrone Winery in the palatial barrel rooms. Today with me is good friend Cris Cherry, local restaurateur. He opened Villa Creek, or Villa Creek, however you prefer to pronounce it, Villa Creek, in 1997, I believe. And now he's decided to become a winemaker. So Cris and I have spent many evenings drinking and eating together, so today we're going to sit and have a conversation.
And eat and drink.
And food.
Wonderful. Welcome.
So why Paso Robles for the restaurant?
Well, when Joanne and I decided to start having kids, we were living in North San Diego County and wanted to have a nicer quality of life. San Diego was becoming a bit populated. My mom's side of the family, Swiss Italians from this neck of the woods, had a ranch over in Cayucas, and
that's right, I'd forgotten that.
We
surf spot as a point.
Yeah, it was a 1,100 acre dairy ranch that we eventually wanted to move on to, and after looking at many places, maybe going back to Vail, Colorado, where I grew up, or maybe down to Mexico, we decided on Paso, and that came out of an article that I read in Parker on Justin at the time in '96, saying that Justin was really pushing the envelope and that Paso Robles was going to be the next Napa. We have evolved quite a bit since then. And
why didn't you just move to Napa?
You know, there's a reason we like to live here, and many of them is because it's not Napa.
Right.
And I came out of Napa last summer really going, Napa is like Bordeaux and Paso is like the Sud. You know, you come down here, many of the winemakers are growers. It is what we do. It's not cashing out of Google or the law firm.
There's some of that. I mean, I get that's probably one of the most frequently asked questions I get when I'm doing dinners in Los Angeles or Southern California or anywhere, and even in the tasting room, is we love it here, but is it going to turn into Napa? And my response is always, probably, but not in my lifetime, I would think. I mean, surely that is hard to stop, right? And we see a bit of it. We've got oilmen and surgical equipment makers planting beautiful vineyards and great wineries. So I think that's perhaps a move in the Napa direction.
I think for our benefit or not, is that we're 3 hours from a metropolitan area as opposed to an hour.
Right.
And that makes a huge difference. It keeps it much more provincial. And it's, you know, if we lose the quality of life here, then we'll all move. Where will you go?
Where will I go? I go back to Bristol.
You'll go to Bristol?
I will. But that's not going to happen in a long time.
No.
So it'll be a couple of years from now and I'll be ready to retire anyway. So.
Right.
So back to your restaurant. So the restaurant, when it first came, it was interesting. It bummed us all out because you took over the best dive bar in town and turned it into a Texy-Mexy fancy food place, right?
Fancy.
With really expensive margaritas.
Oh, you're a tight ass. You're a tight ass.
I am a tight ass. So why that? Why that style and why that place? And
well, we brought.
Were you a restaurateur before? Was this I know your family was in Vail, but were you before?
I grew up in the restaurant business from the time I was 10. We moved from Southern California to Vail. I did 10 to 20 in Vail, and then went to school in San Diego.
Very tough.
Oh yeah, sometimes a prison sentence, sometimes paradise.
All right.
And when we took over the rodeo, which was the Rodeo Cocktail Lounge, which was a good dive bar.
Was it fun?
6 a.m. to 2 a.m. You know, your classic dive bar.
I've been there both those times.
The thought was to do something that would be accepted by the locals as well as the emerging tourist base that was coming. So, you know, we kept it a little bit more Mexican, fairly approachable, you know, carne asada steak and enchilada, but a wine list that had wines from all over.
Wine list was always good.
Which brought people like yourself in.
To complain about that.
them.
Very good margaritas, I have to say.
Very good. They did the trick.
A tad pricey. And then you stole the chef from another restaurant, I believe, and Tom Fundaro was, and he changed that program considerably. I think that the restaurant took a big jump at that point.
It really did.
In my memory.
We started making wine in 2001, and Joanne, my wife, and I decided that if we were going to jump into the wine biz, that we should maybe have someone focus on...
Go see a therapist.
Frying pan to fire. Have someone pay attention to the food. And we had the opportunity to see Tom open Trumpet Vine tapas and wine bar, coming fresh from New York, and the menu changed every day. And I ate there 5 days a week, lunch and dinner. I can't
tell you how many times I told visiting people that there's a tapas bar in Paso, and they said, tapas bar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they serve tapas.
Yeah, it's by the park. And that was a great moment. That restaurant was good.
It's phenomenal.
Trumpet Vine was good.
Well ahead of its time.
It really pushed, it was too far ahead of its time, clearly.
It may not work now.
It would work now.
Yeah.
I think so, but trouble here is tapas has become a thing that it's $8 for a tapas, and it's not what it should be. I mean, in Spain, it's a very cheap. You go get a glass of wine, you get some serrano ham and some stuffed pepper, and it's $1.50 a plate or whatever. And now tapas in our country is expensive. It's a meal price.
Yeah. And it's small plates. It's
well, you guys do a nice job of that. I mean,
it's a wide range of the culinary licenses.
I like to go to Villa Creek and have the tacos. That's to me a decent tapas type thing. I mean, then go have a drink and 3 of the carnitas tacos and gets the job done. So restaurant to winery. I mean, I used to come in there and you'd always question the hell out of me and everybody else. Clearly moving slowly from being the guy who has a great wine list and a great taster of wine, a guy with great knowledge of wines of the world, to someone that was getting a bit too intrigued with how it's made.